I regularly have my spouse's full attention and can easily get it whenever I want. Why does that matter? John Gottman talks about the idea of bids in relationships, that you and I are constantly trying to get our spouse's attention. We want them to see our hearts. We want them to engage with our ideas. We want them to see who we actually are. And so we might be watching a game and we call their attention to a specific play. We might be reading a book and we bring up an idea, a topic that is there. We might see our kids playing in the distance and we draw our spouse's attention to what it is that we're seeing. That ability to get your spouse's attention and to know that you actually have it is a foundational principle to friendship. Whenever we are friends, we have this ability to have this shared attention. We put our minds and our eyes on the same thing. We engage in that moment on that issue, and then we go back to living our separate kind of lives. That's what a healthy marriage is. As friends are walking together hand in hand in life, I'm experiencing my life, she's experiencing her life, but then we're weaving back in together, bringing that back to one another and having this shared experience. And yet, if you don't have your spouse's attention, and if you can't get it easily, there's something wrong with the relationship. The friendship is being frayed to some extent. And we've never lived in a day in which there have been so many distractions that are tempting us to take our attention away from our spouse. How often do you hear it? One spouse is trying to have a conversation and the other spouse is reading the phone, looking at the phone, not giving the full attention, giving partial attention, but not giving eye contact, not actually engaging with the fullness of who they actually are. And that begins to communicate this idea that you really aren't that important to me. If you cannot easily get your spouse's attention, your heart will begin to die. I see it in many cases where maybe a marriage is coming to an end, and it totally surprises the man. And yet, in the midst of conversation, I come to find out that this woman's heart has been dying slowly for years, and the man never noticed it because the man never gave his wife full attention. And it's not until she says, "I'm done," that his eyes are actually open to the problem of what is going on. If you do not have your spouse's full attention and you cannot easily get it, that is a red flag to the future of your relationship and something that must be changed. And yet, if you can get your spouse's attention and you do have it, that is something that needs to be nurtured. You need to continually build that concept and that ability within your relationship. John Gottman talks about the difference between what he calls the masters and the disasters. He said the masters at marriage have an ability that 9 times out of 10, when they ask for their spouse's attention, they get it. Now notice, it's not 100%. There are times in which your spouse wants your attention and you can't give it. Maybe you're cooking dinner and they want you to look at something or see something and everything's about to boil over. You can't give it in that moment. Maybe you're engaged at work, you're on the phone. Maybe the kids are doing something in that moment. Your spouse wants your attention and they can't have it in that moment. But 9 out of 10, for the masters, 9 out of 10, when your spouse wants your attention, you give it to them. Gottman goes on to talk about the disasters in relationships. And he says that those whose marriages really are broken only give that attention 6 out of 10. That means almost just a flip of a coin whether or not they're going to pay attention to their spouse. If you and I will engage our spouse, give them our full attention, recognize when they're making a bid for that attention, and 9 out of 10 times respond to that and engage in that moment, the friendship of our relationship will be nurtured. And the better friends we are, the better partners we can be, the better lovers we can be. You must give your spouse your attention, and they must return that to you, and you must feel it consistently to be a good friend, partner, and lover.